Name of this, and we'll just name it Coasties. We'll call it Walking in the Woods until a better name appears.
Twill serve.
His little forehead needs a lot of kisses.
He says I've missed several days of kisses, and now I need more.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good kitty. You're a good kitty.
I always forget that bosun's strength is so terrible.
So,
even by this party standards. Yeah.
I do have noise suppression stuff up, so I might clip a little bit. Just tell me if I'm clipping too much, because Sam was able to escape the baby early because Liam also woke up aggressively early this morning and has gone to bed subsequently nicely early tonight. So I have noise suppression up so Sam can game while we game. Hannah, oh, now I can't hear anybody.
Bubbles.
Oh, now I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Test.
Yeah, you kept lighting up for some reason and not...
Oh, I don't know what that was.
Okay.
But am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I must have been mumbling.
Alright, so just as a warning, yell at me if I get too clipped, and if I get too clippy and start getting annoyed, I'll fix it.
So far, so good, I think.
Okay.
Until then, does anyone want to tell me what happened last game?
So we headed out from Waterdeep. We all got on our horses, and we left town. We headed up to Nightstone in order to meet up with Kiss and exchange intel, before ultimately heading on to the Caring Hands School. There were many shenanigans about horses, and about dinosaurs, and about Sakal. What we do and do not know about it.
Whether or not it exists.
Yeah.
Actually, Heather, would you mind putting the spelling of that continent or place?
Sure.
Because I think I got it wrong in the notes. Oh, awesome. Closer than I thought. Thank you. Sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we got to Nightstone, where the only tavern is called the Tavern. Where the tavern is called the Tavern. The drinks have such names as the red wine, the white wine, the beer. The choices of food are the chicken dish, the beef dish, and the vegetable dish. Yeah, and so we met up with Kiss, and exchanged some intelligence, largely being that, number one, the Caring Hands School is notable because of the lack of notes about it, the lack of rumor, the lack of scandal. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Maybe mind control is involved. We don't know. And also, other note, Mert is acting strangely. Turns out he's the one he's been asking Kiss to trap, neuter, and release owlbears. When, not that long ago, he was trying to help move her up in the Harpers. So, what's going on there? That seems kind of weird. Yeah. Meanwhile, Eliana had some concerns about her dating life. Specifically, having never actually had two people interested in her at the same time before. What do I do? Am I allowed to date two people at once? And Corinne and Grim were like, yeah, of course you are. And so after, and so she met up with Kiss, after that, in a more relaxed state. Bones and Kiss have a very, They fight like Bones and Kiss fight like siblings. It's great. And they played a card game. Turns out that Bones told Kiss that Alina told Bones that Muriel and Aliena are sweethearts. One might indeed say like cats and dogs. And so Kiss knows about Uriel, and it's fine. You know, she has faith in Eliana to figure things out. They went for a walk up and down the road. They chatted a bit. We didn't fully wrap that one up, but there is indeed some side chat on its way about that. Meanwhile, Grim was very drunk. Very, very drunk. And they and Corinne had a nice night in at their room in the tavern. Also of note, the tavern rooms are just very. They're very, very well cared for. Very much show that somebody really cares about this inn and this space. So that's what I've got.
Thank you.
Does anyone have anything to add? Well, with that silence.
Upstairs
go ahead.
for bed. And am I on a delay?
It seems like it, but it might just be me. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Didn't seem like it to me.
Okay.
Discord's doing that weird thing where it's like, "Fuck you, if you're not streaming, I don't care about you." And then like everyone lags, and then all of a sudden everyone catches up all at the same time. So I'm going
That's
to.
a fun trick.
Yeah,
That sounds unpleasant.
I am going to undo the things that I did earlier and hope that that is the reason. So, fuck your noise cancellation. I will just put my mic sensitivity up a little bit. Alright, hopefully that fixed it. Can we go back to... Yeah.
Yeah, is this...
Yeah.
Test. Okay, cool. So the only thing that I would add is that as far as Grim knows, Bosun stayed downstairs in the tavern all night to watch and report back on anything interesting. So I don't know if anything, I don't know if Bosun, how Bosun interpreted that, but that was another thing that happened. And it is now, would be, assuming we got a full long rest, it would now be Wednesday, Uktar 22nd.
Yes. So, we'll start off with Bosun sitting on your chest. Actually, nope, we're going to pick up with Elenia and Kiss. Or Eliana and Kiss. Because I didn't finish that side chat, thanks to all of the chaos.
Life is chaotic.
Percy's looking at me like, I told you, Mom. So, as Lenya kind of mentions that she used to journal, Kiss would kind of nod. I find journals to be particularly useful, especially for noticing long-term trends in myself and in others.
Yeah, I think I'd have to try it for a little bit longer in order to see what good it does. I wouldn't know about, well, I actually still have my journals from the convent. I didn't want to look at them, but I didn't want to get rid of them either.
That's fair.
It's complicated.
Isn't it all?
Yeah. Well, not up there. And she points up her hand to the stars. That's not complicated.
I don't know, I've heard like third hand that it actually is pretty complicated. But then again, I know divination wizards, so she kind of shrugs. Have been lectured.
Neither am I. So, I'm okay with letting it be uncomplicated.
Well, we should get you back. Get an early morning.
Yeah, what are you doing next after this?
Theoretically back to the Owlbears, but I don't think I'll be going back to that. There's some interesting things happening with shipments moving through the Ardeep here, and I'd like to keep an eye on it. Smuggling's fine, but I want to know what's coming in and out.
Yeah, there's always going to be smuggling, but it's interesting to know what it is.
It's important to know what it is.
Yeah, that's a better word, yeah. And that's part of how Grim and Corinne and I got here. Started investigating some drop sites, and, well, here we are.
She kind of loops her arm in yours and stands from the bench to escort you back towards the tavern. Drop sites.
Aliana stands up too. Yeah, on Deepwater Isle. Takes herself a little, to be close to kiss for the walk back. All kinds of smuggling sites. I'm doing a bit of an audition for the Dashing Veil. And so that was the start of it. See what might be there and pick something and follow it to its conclusion. If there is one.
Oh, Ilya scouted you out for Macklin then.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good sort.
Seems like you and he would get along. Or not get along equally.
We get along well enough. He's a ranger. More like Bones than me, but...
Well. Yeah, Ilya wanted... She could tell that I was having some trouble finding a place. So sent me on somewhere she thought might fit.
She is good at that.
She's taken an interest in me, and I don't mind being adopted.
That's good. She's a good person to have in your corner.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. So are you. After that, she kind of falls silent as if maybe she said too much.
Yeah, Kiss doesn't seem like offended or anything like that, but she does kind of give you a bit of a squeeze and just lets the conversation go quiet. She escorts you back to the tavern.
Back to the tavern we go.
And she stops at your door. Well, I will leave you here. I have my own place.
A room here or camping?
Camping. Taverns can be terrible places to sleep. They're good. It's a good for a meal, but I prefer to stay in my own space.
I think this is one of the better ones to sleep, but even so, you did tell me all about Kai and tavern floors and the red dot.
She nods, and you see Kai is like gleefully chewing on a celebone.
I love him.
I'm just outside the gates, though, if you need me.
I'll find you if I need you. And Aliana hugs Kiss goodnight.
And she gives you a tight hug before letting you go and heading off.
Yeah. Sorry, what I heard letting you go and heading off. Is there some more words?
Nope, and just heading off.
Okay. Aliana tries to pet Kai on his way out, and then heads back into her room.
Kai does that thing where he like lingers and like leans in and then realizes that Kiss has gotten like just a little too far away from him and then bolts off.
Excellent. She watches Kiss and Kai go, and then Aliana goes back into her room, where Quiche is still lounging on the bed. And Quiche sniffs Aliana disappointedly, and then they both settle in for the night.
Mm-hmm. So, Grim, you wake up with a talkative bosun on your chest. So many things happen that were interesting.
Is he talking? Am I getting words, or am I getting
barrage
of like?
You're getting so much. Not words. Well, you're getting language in that he's like showing you bits of a conversation that happened. Yeah. So he's gonna show you a bit of conversation. And I'll read it out loud. Give me a second. So
Delightful.
I know I wrote it. Where did I write it?
While you're finding it, I'm gonna roll a sleight of hand check to see how Grim does with trying to like gently pinch Bosun's bill shut. That's not great. It's a 14.
Oh no! I mean, roll a grapple check, an opposed grapple check for Bosun, who is excited to tell Grim all the things.
It's a 10. So I'm guessing like Grim manages to like sort of gently close Bosun's bill,
but you're still getting telepathic.
Yeah.
Like it's still in your brain. So
yeah, absolutely.
So you get a Kiss kind of frowning and staring at a deck of cards, going, "I never knew Grim to be a lightweight or to lose their senses around a bunch of strangers. So it seems unlikely that wasn't an act." Then you get Kiss saying, "That's a hell of a question, Inquisitor. Do you question everyone as straightforwardly?" And then Bones cheerfully going, "Sometimes." And then you get a flash of Kiss going, "Spit it out, cat." And then Bones declaring, "70, you bitch." So none of this, it's like some of this makes sense, not a lot of it.
Do I recognize that last bit as part of the card game? As part of a card game?
You can roll insight if you want.
Nope. 7.
Nope. No, not a clue. And then, just cheerfully chirping about a murder mystery.
Bosun is chirping about a murder mystery?
He's telling you, or he's like kind of like showing you Bones saying a murder mystery, repeatedly. Okay. But it's definitely like the same like 1 second clip. But it's like watching a GIF on a loop. Yeah. Yeah. Then he moves on to what happened after Bones and Kiss left. So you see someone like winning some sort of arm wrestling match. You see a lot of there's a couple of there's Eliana, Kai, and Kiss going. There's Eliana, Kai, and Kiss coming back. There's Kiss and Kai leaving. There's Kai stealing a bone off of someone's empty plate. As they're leaving, there's some sort of game involving. Actually, you would know coins when you see it, coppers when you see it. Definitely a couple of like a nice song by a bard that seemed pretty catchy and is now stuck in your head permanently. Yeah, that is what Bone. That is what. Sorry, that's not what Bones decided to tell you. That's what. So Bosun decided to tell you though.
Does he eventually wind down?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he exhausts his supply of
Yeah.
interesting things.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
So
repeats
Grim
the
is
song twice
yeah.
though.
Of course he does, and then maybe the murder mystery clip one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Is Corinne still present, or is Corinne left by the time Grim recovers from this, which is probably several minutes beyond when Bosun wrapped up?
Corinne, did you wake up early this morning, or?
I did beat Grim up
It's
this
true.
morning. It very well could be that when she opened the door to head downstairs, that like Bosun was invisibly waiting outside, and that was the opportunity he took to like swoop in as she left.
That
So
seems
like,
yeah, that seems correct.
the order of operations would have been like, open door, Corinne leaves, all of a sudden there's a thump on Grim's chest after the door closes. And best of luck to them, I guess.
Yeah. Then I guess I eventually recover and get up and put on proper clothes, but not yet my boots, and head downstairs, still looking a little dazed, with Bosun like invisible football in my elbow.
You just like look like you're carrying an invisible football.
Correct.
Amazing.
Correct. Grim is not processing any of this very well. And yeah.
Perfect.
So who's up?
I think Corinne's in a booth at this point.
Yeah.
Is Eliana down?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna leave it to chance whether Eliana is up. She is not up.
Is Bones up? Bones, is Bones up / has Kiss returned?
You do not see either.
Okay.
You do see, though, a young woman. It's odd because she's young, but she's got white hair. Kind of hanging out behind the bar. Very... I mean, white hair is not unusual even to you all at this point. She kind of, perusing a book, blinks all at you, look up, gives you a wave, moves over, drops off a menu.
Yeah, definitely slid into the booth. We'll deposit Bosun onto the table. I think I should perhaps be a bit more specific next time.
About what?
It turns out that, and like, scare quotes, watch for anything interesting is,
You have different definitions of interesting.
who could have guessed such a thing might be possible, yes?
Oh. Bosun is still invisible, yes?
Correct. I mean,
Okay.
Grim would set him on the definitely was visibly removing other hand, scooping him out of their elbow, placing him on the table. He's probably not pummeling on the table, so you're passive. He's not being sneaky, so you probably have flap from his little feet paddling around.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely still invisible.
Yep. I'm assuming that there may be just bar nuts on the table, just a little bowl of.
Yeah, it's they're actually very delicious. They're dinner was good, average, a lot of food. This seems to be some sort of honeyed cashewed situation.
Ooh.
These are exceptional.
Delightful. Corinne pulls one up and just kind of holds it out to the table just like waiting essentially for Bosun to kind of like puffle over and take a nibble.
As he does, and like the bill like delicately closes around your finger, around Corinne's fingers, and the cashew is gone.
As the cashew disappears, she goes and like scritches behind where she believes the ear tufts to be, based on the angle of the beak approach.
Bosun is pleased and he begins trying to sing the song with his chainsaw noise.
Yes.
So it's like, but like in whatever rhythm the song actually is.
Amazing. So we'll look at Corinne is now looking at the menu. So do you think I should go with the egg breakfast or the pancake breakfast?
The egg breakfast. The pancake breakfast will likely come with the syrup, and that would be too sweet for you.
Well, yeah, that's fair. There is also the potato breakfast.
You're in a very lively mood this morning. By which I mean you're in sort of gestures at her, upright and talking.
Well, I did have a coffee already, and have been up for some time.
Right. That's also unusual, but well done. Where
Thank you.
do you suppose the others are?
It's a good question, actually. Looks around the tavern. It's a very good question. Maybe, perhaps Lenya knows.
Do you think they've
And she will then wave down
in the night?
Actually, at that point, Bones will head in, not from upstairs, but from the front door.
I suppose not.
Corinne is waving down the bartender at the same time that Bones enters.
Yeah, she'll head over.
I think I will do one of the egg breakfast, if you don't mind. And do you have a breakfast that's just meat?
She kind of grins. Floater your tabaxi friend?
Yes, indeed.
I have something that will work.
Excellent, thank you.
Don't give her the coffee. Just don't. You all can have coffee, not her.
I am squinting at this
I was gonna say, does this voice sound familiar?
Sure. Roll, whatever. I don't know. Decide what you want to roll and roll it.
I'm gonna roll insight. Grim is not at the point of does this person look or sound familiar? Grim is just like trying to tell if this is a specific like caution against Bones in particular. If this is just sort of something like generic patter about tabaxi guests. That's a 14 though.
Let's see. We're gonna go with perception, because Corinne is specifically wondering if this is Alina. Or like some weird doppelganger of Alina. And that's an 18.
This is definitely some weird doppelganger of Alina. It's definitely not Alina. The physicality is not the same for Alina. Alina's features are a bit sharper. This woman's features are like a little softer. You don't know?
Is the coffee bit just a general... Is that just a tabaxi thing, or...?
No, Bones has been here before. I don't want to have to peel her off my ceiling again.
Huh.
It's too early for that shit.
I'm gonna send. I would like to send Bosun up to see if there are cat claw marks on the ceiling.
Yeah, roll a perception check for Bosun.
6.
He's finds several suspicious marks. None of them appear to be cat scratches, but he's got a good imagination, so maybe.
How do you how do you know Bones?
Her sister is a regular.
Oh.
Kiss. They meet here all the time.
Oh. I see. They sort of seem to hate each other a bit.
Seem to. But, I mean, sometimes it looks like I hate my brother, but I don't, so.
And you do have a brother, you said.
I do.
I'm sorry, you put me in mind of a friend of mine. The resemblance is a bit uncanny.
Alright. Yeah, no, and my brother and his husband run this place with me.
Ah.
Grim is going to drop into Awakened Mind and tell Corinne, can you ask her if Kiss was the one who gave Bones the coffee?
Just turning back to our new bartender friend. That note about the coffee and Bones specifically, was that Kiss's doing?
No, Brent did it on accident. He likes cats and thought, hey, I like coffee, my cats like coffee, I'll give coffee to the cat. It was a terrible idea. Absolutely awful. We do not trust Brent to make breakfast now. He is not to give breakfast anymore.
That's perhaps wise. Is that your brother or his husband?
His husband, my brother-in-law.
Very good. Excellent. And what's your name?
Amika.
Amika, pleasure to meet you. Corinne Grimm points at, like, the bowl of cashews that I'm imagining is slowly disappearing.
Yes, absolutely. Like there were little crunchy bits sort of that occasionally fall off the side of Bosun's beak, so there are like little bits of nut appearing on the table now and again, but largely the cashews, yes, are vanishing.
Yeah. The invisible one is Bosun.
He gives a little chainsaw noise and then begins singing to himself again.
She nods a little bit. Well, pleasure to meet you all. Alright, I'll get your breakfast on Tabaxi special for the Tabaxi.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
She inclines her head and heads back.
I think I'm gonna add Aliana to the scene now. She kind of she heads down the stairs, and takes a seat at the table. Morning, everyone. Sorry I wasn't up earlier.
Oh, it's no worries.
Morning.
If you'd like breakfast, you have the option of the egg breakfast, the pancake breakfast, or the potato breakfast.
Eggs and the potatoes don't go together?
Or the meat breakfast, apparently.
Well, the Tabaxi special.
Which is a remarkably specific name for this place.
It might just be the one Tabaxi.
It might be. I'll request the eggs, I think, when someone comes back around again.
How's the rest of your evening?
Good. I stayed up in my room for a while, then came down to see Kiss, went for a walk with her. Then I opened up my... I kept journals back when I was in the convent, and something possessed me to open them up again. And so I wasn't able to cope with that without drinking some of the tej that I had, and
Yeah.
well, I slept a little longer than I wanted to, but I'm up, I'm good.
I have... Go ahead.
has Bones joined us yet, or is she just present but isn't at the table or within earshot as far as Grim knows?
Sure. She stopped at the bar for a minute. She seems to be getting a glass of something, and
All
before
right.
heading back.
Okay, then Grim will, by awakened mind, then to Eliana, sounding a bit hurriedly, like glances at Bones. Did you happen to hear anything about a murder mystery while you were out and about, or down here, or?
No. Murder? No.
What?
Good morning, Bones.
Good morning. Mind if I join you? And she doesn't really ask. Like, she asks, but, like, slides into the booth next to Eliana, so.
Yep, Corinne knows that move.
Pro forma asking.
Good morning.
We've ordered breakfast for you, specifically, coming on its way. Is it just me, or does the bartender bear a shocking resemblance to Alina?
Oh, yeah, no. It's not just you. Wait till you see the bartender's husband. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Oh well, he'll come to me eventually. No, not her husband. Her brother. I can't keep track.
Can you not keep track because they are part of a very large family with many, many people in it?
She smiles at you. I wouldn't be surprised if they're related. I've not seen a lot of blue people. She just shrugs.
You sure it's not just an elaborate prank?
I was just wondering the same thing.
It's starting to seem more likely at this point.
I mean, it is water deep.
First the redheads and now this.
Promise you I had nothing to do with this one.
For what it's worth, they seem to be completely unaware of each other.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Wait, it's not your fault that Valor Company has 4 redheads.
No, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Tybalt.
And she
Tybalt.
would
Tybalt
have-
is the brother's name. Elmika's brother is Tybalt. Tybalt's husband is Brett. Got it. Remembered now.
She would have arranged it if she had thought of it first. Give Corinne sort of a small approving nod.
Maybe redheads are just prone to adventure. I'm a redhead.
I squint at her.
You haven't seen... So...
I know.
You
No,
haven't
she's
seen
got
her
the.
hair, so... You don't know.
And is her fur?
She's
like-
like a Bengal cat pattern.
Okay.
So...
This is all just too much for Grim, who's going to squint at her for a moment, and then we'll just go ahead and ask: has Bones always been your name?
No.
Continue to just sort of stare at her, but the bangs and the eye patch, like my head is turned towards her. But I'm realizing that she probably can't see the squint and the keep going stare. Like, it's hard to not let people off the hook if they can't tell that you're what the quality of your eye contact is. But Grim is committed now.
Corinne fights Bosun's beak for another handful of nuts.
Bones sips her drink, kind of smiles, leans back at the table. I give a yawn. So we're leaving this morning, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Giving it up for the moment, turns toward Elenia. Is Kiss coming with us? I realized that I forgot to ask.
I don't know. No, she's planning on investigating, doing some more investigation in this area.
All right. So breakfast and then we're off.
Yeah.
Bryn turns to Bones. Did you know anything about a murder mystery?
She arches an eyebrow at you. I know plenty of murder mysteries. I'm kind of a fan of the genre.
And Corinne looks at Grim. I don't know if that's what you meant.
So Grim, who up until this moment was quite straight-faced, just like maintains the straight face, but like looks at Corinne, just sort of neutral expression, looks back at Bones. I think I'm gonna roll an insight check before, like, I'm not gonna get out of talking. 9.
Her deception was awful, and you still didn't quite make it, so she just looks at you.
Bosun seemed to be enjoying the music last night and seemed very excited about a murder mystery something as well. He had quite a lot to say this morning. Something about a murder mystery, something about, and Grim will whistle a few a 19 performance, whistle a few bars of the song. He also liked that quite a lot. I don't know what it is, but now it's stuck in all of your heads as well. You're welcome.
It wasn't until now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
What is it? A song I know.
Oh, sorry, I'm not fast in the morning.
I would say you're not the only one, but everyone seems quite quick on their feet this morning. Except me.
Sorry. I may have had a little bit of stuff to drink last night. That one is the old dun cow.
The old dun cow.
She nods.
Grim just also nods and then reaches for their tea. With the sort of, I need some time to think about this expression on.
I would say if he's talking about a murder mystery, I may have mentioned to Kiss last night that I was working on one. Writing one, not investigating one.
What kind of murder mystery?
That I'm writing? Just something.
Yeah.
Just something I'm futzing with on my spare time until I can figure out what my next nonfiction project will be.
Huh. You're probably... I've read some bad murder mysteries lately. You're probably better.
Hopefully. Hopefully I'm not one of the bad ones you read.
Oh no, this one was called Crime of the 3-Foot Inspector. It was terrible. Though I think I was more offended by the romance than by the actual murder mystery, but it was still like, if you're the killer, then why would you ask a detective to take the case when if you hadn't done that you would have gotten away with it?
Oh yeah, no. That is not one of mine.
Right. It's just so bad. People need to act like they. If you're going to tell a story, make it be a story about people who behave like people do in real life.
Well, sometimes people do that, though. Crazy ones.
They maybe I guess, but that doesn't make it a good idea.
It's not a good narrative technique to lean into, no.
No. Well, it is what it is, I guess.
It is.
I'm not going to read anything else by that author again.
Wouldn't recommend him. She kind of smiles and leans back as food is brought to the table. Someone got an egg platter.
That's me.
Almika nods and slides it over. It is 3 fried eggs in the style of your choosing. Some fried potatoes and some bacon. And toast.
Nice.
Bacon.
In front of Bones is placed a fried fish with some bacon on top, like a bacon crumble. And Bones just grins. I see Gran is on the stove this morning.
Wait. Is that name...
Bren.
Are we hearing Bren? Okay, no, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, not Gren.
No,
Okay.
not Gren.
Thank you.
Bren.
Gren will not be act then.
Almika nods. He is. And sends his regards. Bones kind of leans back. I wish you would send me coffee. Almika does not look amused.
Aliana will take the opportunity to request an egg breakfast.
Egg breakfast? Gotcha.
Thank you.
Easy enough. And Grim got...
Grim actually didn't order.
Hmm.
Grim was very distracted still by the song. So Grim is utterly failing to steal a piece of Corinne's bacon right now. And then, I guess that was an 8. So what is the consequence of their failure?
She swats their hand away and continues eating. Not even acknowledging it. Basically, kind of the in mid bite, swats it with a free hand and just continues eating.
Pulls their hands back. Do the pancakes come with bacon as well?
Yes. It's more
Then
to think
that,
about,
please.
which is the most, prominent part of the breakfast. Great. Got you. Alright.
Lots of syrup.
Lots of syrup. Sure. Do you want jam as well? It's out of season, but we have strawberry jam.
There's sort of a long pause. And Grim was visibly calculating any number of weird Grim things in their head, and then slow nod. Jam, please, as well.
Good. And she heads off. It's weird seeing this version of Alina, but it's distinctly not, overwhelming, but also kind of grumpy.
Grim feels like they should react to this, but she's also a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't figure out how. There's too many steps there. And then they actually realize that no one has checked on the horses this morning, and will mutter something under their breath about that. and we'll get up and scurry off to the stables to check on
Came
check on
back
the horses.
from that, but sure, all right.
Keep going.
Once they're at a distance, Grim is choosing to check on the horses?
I think it's still a bit early for them.
I guess so. How early is it?
I mean, it's like 6:37, so morning, firmly morning.
It's earlier than we usually get up.
That's actually that's actually a little late for Grim on a normal morning.
And then, factor in a new place and vague hand gestures. And just trails off.
New people, Bones kind of says with a grin.
Yes, also that. Sort of this one's particularly confounding because it's a new old in a way.
Yeah, I've been... It's strange.
Is this one any good with the sword? Asking Bones about Alina Doppelganger, whose name I cannot remember.
Yeah, Almika, yeah.
Almika, yes.
She kind of shakes her head. No, but she has other tricks.
Oh?
Oh yeah. So all three of the people who run this place are actually fairly high-level wizards.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. This is their retirement, and she kind of does air quotes around retirement.
What does one do when one is a wizard and, air quotes, retires?
She
What,
shrugs.
they're opening a tavern?
Runs a weird-ass tavern. With really, really good food.
I was going to ask if that was perhaps enhanced in some way.
She shrugs. Could be. Bren is just also a really good cook. Sorry, Bren. Too many names that sound the same. Not enough sleep. Bren is also just a really good cook. I've heard that his fried potatoes are, in fact, excellent.
Maybe I should have gotten the potato dish.
Well, the eggs are cooked to perfection, so I regret nothing. And it comes with potatoes, too, so the potato breakfast essentially would just be just a pile of potatoes. I'm assuming.
I think they're fried potato cakes, Bones says, and she stretches.
How does Bone stretch? I need a description of this.
Bones, so she's mostly just got, like, her hands above her head and is just, like, cracking, like, her back and her elbows, but there's a certain level of grace to it that suggests that perhaps she, like, stretches, like, more aggressively in the morning than... She does yoga, is what I'm saying. Bones does yoga.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Breakfast is
I
brought.
think Corinna's content to
Oh, go ahead.
continue just eating breakfast until it's time to leave, unless folks have something else.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyone?
I'm good with montaging this.
Sounds good. In that
Grim
case,
will eventually return from the stable, but is so like they're not actually hiding out there. They will come back and eat their pancakes once they are confident the horses have been fed.
yeah.
Is it visible that someone slash Bones specific? Actually, she's on the way out, so they will return and just sort of give Bones a small nod of acknowledgement, and then are content to eat breakfast.
Sure.
I also know that Leona secures some bacon for quiche.
Oh,
So the only thing notable, Grim, is that your pancakes aren't like, they don't have strawberry like jam on the side. They are in fact filled with strawberry jam.
Oh, amazing. And then like butter and syrup on top.
Yeah.
So Grandma receives the pancake dish, gives it like neutral, politely neutral face until Almika has departed, unless she's lingering to see their reaction. And like eyes the plate like a little confused and then a little disappointed, but then goes to cut into them and take a bite. Like they're certainly not going to complain because that would require talking to someone they don't know. And so I think just without like thinking or looking too closely at it, cuts pancake, pops a bite into their mouth, and then just like two chews, and then just freezes and like is blank for a couple of seconds, processing this, and then recovers and eats the rest of the meal normally. This has been Grimm's pancake monologue.
Monologue token.
Oh my gosh. As they're cutting in with the lack of jam present, Corinne will ask, I can ask if they can bring some.
So sometime later then, after they have finished chewing and swallowing that first bite, which probably took 4 times as long as eating a bite of pancake normally should have, I think it's quite all right. You should try some.
I really would rather not, thank you.
Suit yourself.
And I shall be very happy with that.
Carry on. They will share a bite with Bosun, who appreciates it more.
All right. Breakfast is had. Horses are prepared, ready to go. Is there anything else anyone wants to do before heading out?
I'm good.
All set?
I think my only thing is, am I remembering correctly? We do know where we're going. Yes, we have Say's map.
Yeah.
And we have Kiss's instructions. Okay, yes, I'm all set then.
Yes, you guys are, I believe, heading to the Crypt Garden Forest, and then you're heading to the school inside of the Crypt Garden.
Delightful.
Oh, the school is in the Crypt Garden Forest. Amazing.
Yes,
That seems fine.
Yeah. Not at all ominous.
It starts with a K, right? So that means it's
Yeah,
fine. It's not even the same word.
It's not even
There's
the
no
same word.
connection whatsoever.
And you guys head out. It takes you a good most of the day to get at least. I mean, let's see, takes you probably 3/4 of your travel day to get to the forest specifically. The school is not supposed to be too far into the forest. What's y'all's passive perceptions?
18.
20.
12!
Corinne, you're the first person to notice, like, some markings on the trees. Bones also seems to be, like, you see her, like, kind of at the same time as you notice it, you see her ears start to perk up and she starts, like, looking around.
Do the markings look like anything in particular? Are they language? Are they symbols?
Mostly, like, aggressive, frowny faces with, like, sharp, pointy teeth.
Oh, like kid graffiti.
Like kid graffiti, but, like, in, like, a mysterious red liquid. Could be paint.
Oh
no. That's unusual.
What's unusual?
What?
And points out one of the nearby frowny faces.
Oh. Yeah. On guard, I guess.
What's
Grim,
that?
oh, sorry.
So how that they are made with a liquid, like they're painted,
Like painted,
or
but you'd have to like examine it to see if it's paint or if it's something else.
okay, yeah. Corinne's gonna lead Duncan over to a nearby one and take a closer look.
Sure.
And Grim is not getting closer to them, but is like now that the markings have been pointed out, is trying to sort of spot as many as they can, sending Bosun to help and look more closely to try to find some that they might not be able to see from their location, and would like to try to have a sense of whether these are like boundary markings or marking a trail, or if we can get any rhyme or reason of what they are.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are kind of heading in. It's not like road would be a little bit too much of a word for it, but it's certainly a trail, a well-traveled trail that you all are on. You send Bosun off to look for more. What specific instructions do you give Bosun? Because I'm curious as to how to interpret this now.
So Bosun's instructions would basically be like, we'll ride up and point at the one that like Corinne is looking at. You see this? Addressing Bosun, and wait for a scent.
Yeah, chainsaw noise.
Find me more of these and tell me where they are until I tell you to stop. And then we'll send Bosun off. And then we'll like try in vain to pull Heather's head up where she has doubtless dropped her head to eat grass.
Yeah.
And that would be that. So yeah. So those are Bosun's instructions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And Corinne, we're investigating?
Yes.
Roll me investigation.
Okay. 12.
For what it's worth, it does appear to be paint. It does not appear to be blood.
That's encouraging.
And it appears just to be kind of a crude painting of something vaguely threatening. It's definitely a face with a bunch of teeth in it. Like it's childlike.
It's a humanoid face.
It's not got that much definition to it. It's definitely like imagine like an emoji. Like that's the amount of like it's a very angry emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Is the best way to describe it.
Anna wants to take a closer look and try. She's looking for like any possible religious significance on these.
Sure.
13.
13. Not that you can think of. Grim. Bosun comes back. He brings you what appears to be a stick figure with a small animal's skull as a skull. With a bit of twine around it, so it looks like he gnawed through the twine like it was hanging someplace. And he took it, and he's bringing it to you now.
This is some Blair Witch nonsense. Grim takes it, stares at it. Where did you find this?
He kind of...
You forgot to tell me where they are, part?
He shows you another piece of wood that kind of looks almost identical to where you're at. But you get the feeling it's probably about 50 feet to your right.
Was it gone long? Bosun found this. And we'll hold it up for the others.
Bosun flaps off to go find more, because you told him to keep looking.
Sure did.
Oh. Well, that's upsetting.
What kind of... Do you recognize the skull? Does anyone recognize the skull?
Do I recognize the skull?
Yeah.
Medicine, survival, nature, whatever you want.
Let's roll nature, because that'll be funny.
13 survival.
That's a no, I think.
Oh, it's a 12.
Some sort of rodentia. Squirrel, mouse, hedgehog, who knows? It's hard to tell.
Some sort of small creature that is found in nature. At least the head part.
Grim is nodding agreement.
I was going to say a dinosaur.
Oh, I don't. We'll get back to that.
Eliana grins to show that she's joking.
I was gonna say Corinna's like side-eyeing Eliana, like, was that a joke?
Bones looks confused. He goes, "No, dinosaurs are bigger."
Grim has the sort of distracted expression of like they knew it was a joke, but they're not multitasking well, because they're also trying to like finally getting Heather to lift her head away from the grass by leaning forward and bribing her with a sugar cube, and then is going to try to ride off in the direction. It was from over here, towards where Bosun is presumably trying to gnaw the second one loose to sort of see what the arrangement is.
Sure. And Heather will agree eventually to leave her tasty snack in search of better tasty snacks. Percy? No one asked you. Thank you. Alright, and you head further into the woods, where you find probably 6 more, and they look like they're from the Blair Witch. They really do. Like, they're like stick figures with like small animal skulls as heads, kind of hanging noose style from the trees. Some of them have like small charms on them, but their charms aren't charms. They're like rocks with like runic on them.
I will tell Bosun to stop. You can stop with that. You did very well, but please no more the gnawing them loose. Someone put them here on purpose.
Bosun actually trundles off from the woods and brings you back a piece of wood. Probably, I don't know, motivational sign sized. That's the best way I can put it. Probably like, I don't know, like a foot by like 6 inches? 8 inches maybe?
I'll reach out to take it.
Yeah.
Kind of cautiously and see what horrible thing this has on it.
It's definitely got writing on it. Does any of you speak Goblin?
Nope.
Nope.
Cool. Bones looks at it and just kind of tilts her head to the side. Confused.
Can you read it?
I can. Goblin's one of my languages. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
That it is in Goblin or what it says?
What it says. It says... It just says poop. Like... Huh.
Are you sure you're translating it correctly?
I'm sure. I think that maybe whoever wrote it didn't speak Goblin very well. It seems like they were going for the slang word and not the actual literal meaning of poop.
Oh, no, that makes sense. That's how I learned Infernal at first.
Ah,
The swear words are always the fun ones.
right. That's why I'm thinking that it's this, because this is not the correct word for what they actually were trying to say in Goblin slang.
Is that all it says, or are there other words on the other side of it that give you context?
Well, so in Goblin, generally any sort of obscenities, usually most Goblin slang translates back into GT, get the fuck out, leave us alone, go away. And that would be the case if this was actually the slang word. But they just wrote feces. I mean, unless they were, I mean, Goblin camps aren't actually known for, labeling their latrines, so...
Sounds like, I think you said somebody who didn't speak Goblin but was trying Goblin as a second language?
Like, really a bad one. One they didn't know well.
Right. Keep going?
One moment. Bosun,
He lifts his head.
is he still present? All right, you can stop. For now, thank you. Very well done. I will toss him a sugar cube as well. Now we can keep going. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't still here collecting things indefinitely. Going to... Does anyone... Are there... Were the well, Bosun clearly found other things. Can you all point out the first signs, the face things? Just trying to tell if those were boundary markers. I would like to know if we're riding into their... wherever they're keeping the feces, or if they would like us if we are riding away from it.
Bones nods. I can point him out when I see him.
All right. Thank you. And Grim is now content to carry on. And still has the stick figure. I think I'm just gonna like... I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. I'm not putting it down. Like, I think absently, is it sturdy enough to like
Lean against
tuck,
something?
like,
Yeah.
like, well, no, like tuck into like into their belt
Sure.
or a jacket pocket. It'll tuck into a jacket pocket with like the little rodent skull peeking out, just sort of like as they ride off, realizing that they still have it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's fine. All right, I'm adding a rodent-headed stick figure to my rodent skull stick figure to my inventory.
You know, just classic D&D things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And away we go.
And away you go. So, are you heading, you guys are going to keep on the path and head straight towards the school?
I think that's what Eliana has in mind, unless somebody who's more sensible about nature and or these possible warning signs suggests otherwise. Like, she's going to try to keep an eye out for all of this, more of these more possible warning signs, but we will see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
How far? Oh, sorry. Can we think we?
Just something similar to what Rebecca just said. Corinne is going to continue moving towards along the path. I will note that she did, with her cloak of elven kind today, she is wearing her like fancier noble attire, just in case, like, she needs to try and pitch that image to whoever answers the door.
Delightful. And I think I'm realizing I know that you said the school is not far inside. I don't know quite how close we are.
Mm-hmm.
Grim is content to keep to the path unless we continue seeing, especially an increased density of markings. But when we get within what Grim estimates, when we're about what Grim estimates to be a quarter mile or so from the school, if we are still on the path at that point, they will ask the group to stop to discuss our approach.
Yeah, easy enough. You see, they seem to be spread out along this path. Probably entering the forest is when you saw the most of them. saying night night, and then they kind of get slightly less as you get closer to the school. That first chunk of road is probably the most dense point.
And do they seem to be weathered, like they've been there for a while, or do they seem to be fairly recent?
Fairly recent. And actually, so the other area where you see a lot of them seems to be like the crossroads where the road splits off to head towards the school. There's a lot of them kind of at the beginning of that road too.
Okay, at the beginning of the road that the spur road leading to the school specifically?
Yes.
Okay. I think Grim will ask the group to sort of stop at that where that breaks off, and we'll sort of like not like drive people into the thick underbrush, but like move off the road just a little bit, to be not like standing in the middle of a crossroads having conversation. In case depending on what we approach this, I believe this is the approach. This is the turn to the school. We'll be going to ride directly up to the front gate and address them, or were we going to be? I believe there was discussion yesterday of trying to be a bit stealthier, although also some dubiousness about that.
Yeah, well, I think to start by trying to scout out the outside and see what we can see.
It'd be good to understand if there's an easy point of entry for infiltration. And if there's not, well, we're prepared.
All right, so we should leave the road then.
Yes, and perhaps tie up the horses somewhere out of sight.
Grim nods. Looks around. Bones said she was a ranger, or someone said that Bones was a ranger.
Yeah.
Closer? Okay. Will nod, look at Bones, like visibly a bit reluctant. Can you suggest somewhere safe and well hidden to leave the horses? Or help us find somewhere?
She actually nods. I borrowed something from Kiss for this. I had to put up my soul as collateral, but... And she pulls...
So you do have one? That's good to know.
I do. Though right now it's being held as collateral.
Probably safer there.
But you know you're not wrong. And she pulls out a small, like... It's like a sleeping... It's like the size of a bedroll, and begins unrolling it. And it looks like a pop-up tent.
Huh. Big enough for the horses?
Not from the looks
Oh, wait,
of it.
we're outside it. So Grim is watching with curiosity, but also skepticism.
Not from the outside, no. But she puts it up. It looks like the horses could probably get in if they like bowed their heads and entered. But it looks like a, I don't know, like a fairly decent sized yurt. And Bones just looks at it and goes, "Ta-da!"
Ta-da.
Don't judge a book by its cover. And she motions for you to head inside.
Grim gives her a sharp look at that, but will dismount. By which I'm imagining that they just sort of swing their leg over Heather's back and then are basically standing because, like, if I remember correctly, this is a pony,
Yeah.
so they don't really have to slide down. They're just like now they're on the ground, and will walk to the end of her reins and poke their head into, not poke their head into, like will pull back with her hand, pull back the tent flap and like try to look inside.
Sure. You look inside and it looks like a 2-story barn complete with like a loft and like it's not a big barn, but it'll hold all your horses and you in a safe, comfortable place.
Grim just will sort of low whistle and will lead Heather into the tent barn.
Bones mutters a word in Elvish, and you see the tent go invisible.
Ooh.
Grim doesn't know.
Grim doesn't know. And I mean, Bones walks forward, and you definitely see like when the bad CGI for the invisibility cloak in the Harry Potter movies. So like when she pushes at it, like you see like the shimmer and like the green screen doesn't quite match up well as she pushes the stuff out of the way and leads her own horse in. But once she's in and the tent flap settles, it's invisible again.
Yeah, Eliana will dismount Frisia and do the same.
As Bones enters, she looks to Grim and goes, "It's actually more impressive from outside."
I think it's quite impressive enough from inside. I will admire it from the outside again once we go back outside again. Is it always a stable? Like getting Heather settled in as they're talking.
No, it kind of just is what you need it to be. Well, what you design it to be. You have to take a moment to... That's what I was doing this morning, was borrowing this and acclimatizing myself to it. Designing what I thought we would need.
Grim sort of looks up, looks around, giving it a... So they certainly like scanned, like clocked the inside in general, but they'll sort of look up and give it a closer, more thorough and thoughtful look now, and we'll look back at Bones and get some very small but approving nod. Well done. Good choice.
Thanks.
Just nods again and finishes getting Heather settled in.
Yeah, Corinne also leads Duncan in and gets him settled in.
Kiss will be pissed. This is her house.
Does she know that you took it?
Yes, I asked to borrow it.
Well, we'll make sure we give it a good cleaning before we bring it back, I suppose.
Oh,
I was just going to say this.
I asked to borrow it, and then I blackmailed her into giving it to me. So, I mean, yes, she knows.
I wonder if we should have brought the sign.
What sign?
The goblin, the feces sign.
I could make you a
Yeah.
better one.
Grim at this point has like the expression of resignation that no one appreciates their sense of humor has returned their focus to they are disappointed, although not surprised. Well, we can workshop it before we return it, I suppose. All right. So now we will sneak through the woods.
Eliana is going to throw to cast an enhance ability. Actually, before she does, Bones, how are you at sneaking? Do you need any extra help?
She shakes her head. No, I was a burglar in a past life. I actually met Reg. Well, I didn't meet him. I met him... I got to know him because I broke into his house, so...
Grim is just going to sort of softly mutter pickpocket under their breath.
That too.
and watch her reaction.
She just nods. That too.
They nod back.
And stow away. And following that, Eliana will cast Enhance Ability on herself and Grim. And this is with the Cat's Grace version.
Ooh. Grim will say, Eliana, as Eliana said, stow away. Grim will say, that was me. And then, thank you. That should help.
Yeah.
Oh, stow away, buddies. Bones just grins and puts out a fist for a fist bump.
Grim just stares at her fist for probably a good 3 seconds. Is it still there?
Mm-hmm.
They will very lightly fist bump it and then leave the tent.
As you leave, you notice that the tent is invisible. And
They will reach back and like put a hand on the tent flap and just like hold on to the tent flap until everyone else is outside.
And
for fear they won't be able to get back inside.
Bones is not guarding her face at all, and she looks exceptionally pleased that she got Grim to fist bump.
Is that a straight kid thing where you just are always trying to one up each other and exceptionally pleased with yourselves when you do?
Who is she asking? Who are you asking?
Whoever will respond.
No, he's still inside the tent. Can Grim hear this?
Yes.
From outside the tent?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Oh, I'm outside the tent. I'm not going to respond.
Bones just laughs a little. Mostly I just want to see how they'll react to things. They're a bit skittish.
Well, strangers.
Yeah, feral kids always react differently to strangers. I put on my best. I am sweet and innocent. Please give me your sandwich.
And I would bet you'd get a lot of sandwiches that way.
A few. When this mission is done, I will show you exactly why I was able to talk myself into a lot of sandwiches.
I would be very curious to see that. You should show Grim as well.
Grim might remember it, maybe. Probably not, though.
I can hear you.
I expected you could.
Never doubted it.
I was trying not to listen. Eliana, was that something? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Grim stopped after I was trying not to listen. Hannah is wondering if Eliana was trying to say something.
Oh, she might have been, but I've forgotten what it was.
All right, let's go con sandwiches from a bunch of children then.
You say it like that. Your metaphor needs work.
Grim has like that sort of look of sort of something clicking into place. Will look back at Bones / at the invisible tent if she's still inside.
Mm-hmm.
Did your orphans speak Goblin badly?
No, generally not. I mostly taught them this Elven or Dwarvish.
All right.
Much more useful in the city. And she'll head out of the tent.
Corinne follows.
And Eliana follows too.
Dwarves are good if you... Dwarves are generally willing if you can guard their shop, they'll let you stay the night.
I suppose we should have thought of that ever. Glancing at Corinne and Eliana.
What? The what of I was not listening.
I'll tell you later. It won't be important now.
All right. Well, on your toes then. And then
Sneak.
Corinne just heads into the forest like she knows where she's going.
Bones kind of like does that, that like thing where she like raises her hand like, okay. Follows Corinne.
Bones, do you know a better way?
Probably want to veer that way. She motions like probably like 20 degrees off of where Corinne headed. So not like too far, but like it will quickly become too far. So she's like going to catch up with Corinne really quick.
Grim will drop into awakened mind and give Corinne the new directions.
She then veers in the proper direction.
So off we go in the proper direction.
Off you go in the proper direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Delightful.
So
And we'll continue, like, if Bones has any other, like, squeaks of dismay or starts to turn, we'll continue to, like, provide updated directions as needed.
Bones will take point with Corinne.
There you go.
And head towards the school. Yeah, no, head to school without any problem. You arrive. It's 3 buildings. There's a building, 2 fairly large square brick buildings on like the left and the right, and then a center building that's a little bit taller, probably like 3 stories, where the other 2 are like 2 stories.
Are the buildings like surrounded by woods and trees, or is it kind of like a clearing?
Like there's a clearing like around it, but it's definitely like in nature. Like fancy private schools that are like in nature, but they're still clear around it. That's where you're at.
Just clear enough to prevent property damage in a storm.
Yes.
Is there anyone outside?
As it's getting dark, there's no one actively outside at the moment.
Corinne is going to try and sneak up to the biggest building and look to see if there's any potential vulnerable points of entry.
Sure. Roll a stealth check. Bones will join you.
Grim will hang back at the tree line.
The 31.
Eliana will also hang back with Grim.
Bones and Corinne just melt into the background. Goddamn rogues. Can you get the feeling you know why Bones mentioned that she's done some burglaries?
Yep.
Grim will, while this is happening, glance at Eliana, sort of amused expression. Do you think they're going to need us at all, or that they just let us come along for moral support? For us, I mean. Not for them.
Probably the moral support.
Grim gives a knowing nod and then goes back to looking into the clearing, not able to see anyone.
Eliana also is trying to stay hidden in the tree line and keeping a watch for people and or other creatures moving about.
Sure. You guys, everyone can roll, who hasn't rolled already can roll me a stealth check.
Oh, I'll take that 24.
Damn, yes.
That was a 13 for Grim, even with advantage.
Oh no.
It's fine.
As Grim makes a crack about being there for moral support, kind of half, like you haven't got the memo that you were supposed to kneel in the bush. You kind of just standing in a bush.
Yep. Not great at this.
I love it so much.
You might want to get down.
Pardon? All right.
From kneeling in the bush, Eliana just.
Grim will also kneel in the bush and perhaps kneels on a branch that cracks a little bit.
Yep.
And then just appears to be very still.
Somewhere in the distance, you hear a sigh. You don't hear it, There's a sigh from a half elf that someone can hear, but it's not you.
Eliana can hear it.
Maybe. Probably not.
Who knows with these stealth checks? Oh man. So, Corinne, how are you approaching your casing the building?
I would probably want to stick close to the perimeter of the woods as much as possible. And then just like keeping an eye for any lights in windows in nearby buildings that might be, kind of compromising locations. But like trying to like staying low, basically like keeping eyes out for any potential risk spots where like someone in an adjacent building might be able to see.
Sure. And what sort of thing are you? So you're looking for the like spots that would be easy to be spotted in, things like that. Are you looking for anything in particular as you're casing the area? Like,
I'm looking for potential points of entry. It's like vulnerable spots where we could pretty easily get in undetected. And also looking if there's anything that's viewable from the outside, like any important looking rooms. Like if there's a room that has like a big auditorium space, or a room that's like looks like there's a lot of fundraising trophies. I don't know. Like something that looks out of the like is not just a standard classroom, if that makes sense.
So on the first floor, you don't find any standard classrooms. You do find a large like dining hall with two long tables running up and down it, and then one like head table. Standard boarding school setup.
Okay.
You find a fairly large kitchen with a kitchen garden just outside of it. Very basic food. Like, it's very, like, well kept, like, meticulously well kept garden with, like, potatoes, onions, general kitchen goods. So they're probably not getting a lot of food shipped in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find an auditorium. There's one office on the first floor that you find. You don't get a good view in because the shades are like the curtains are drawn, but you do see like the makings of an office.
Mm-hmm.
And then a front entry hall. That's pretty much what's on the first floor.
Okay. Let's see. Can I take a peek around the other buildings, the first floor, and see it's kind of a similar casing of like what's rooms of relevance, potential points of entry, things like that?
Sure. Bones will wave to you and kind of motion that she's going to go check out one of the other buildings as well. So you guys split.
Okay.
Are you heading right or left?
I will head to the left.
Okay, and she'll head right. So you head to the left. You find an actual like. So this appears to be like the first floor is primarily like hangout space, and you do see several boys mostly, kind of deep in study. They're like looking at things, writing things down. They appear to be working on like some sort of homework situation, while a few are like lounging in chairs or on couches relaxing. There's appears to be a couple games going on, just like normal like indoor, like a couple people shooting marbles, a couple people playing checkers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you get on the first floor, is like this kind of large communal space.
Okay. At the center building, does it look like there's an easy way to potentially climb up to get a view on the second floor, or does it look like it's pretty much just like
It's a pretty squat, square building. You don't have anything like second story work or climb speed, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay. Yeah, no, nothing seems like easy, like an easy way to climb up. Are you're gonna head back to the main building?
I'll move in the direction of the main building. I am not going to try to climb.
Okay.
Corinne knows what she's good at, and climbing is not it.
Bones will intercept you. So I think the other building is a dormitory. Looks like a girls' dormitory.
Yeah, I think that one's the boys.
Yeah. Nothing out of sorts on the first floor that I could see.
Are you any good at scaling?
I'm very good at climbing, yes.
If you wouldn't mind getting a look at the perhaps the second and third floor,
I can definitely
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
And Corinne will keep keep watch for, anyone who might be looking in the direction of where Bones is going and think, weird, why is there a human-sized cat climbing this building?
Climbing the building. Wouldn't be the first time for Bones. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah. So you see her very quickly make speed up the side of this building. Kind of claws out, like navigating the bricks in like these like tiny little crevices and spots that you did not see immediately as like being climbable. She seems to be able to get a grip on them and move up the building. And then once she finds kind of like, there's like a windowsill on the outside, she kind of hops onto it and then peeks in, looks around, and then starts hopping from like windowsill to windowsill. Like very, very gracefully, very like kind of stops moving, like tries to like blend in as much as she can, being a large human-sized cat on a second-story window. But it doesn't look like anyone's like actively on the grounds at the moment. So you guys seem to have a kind of a clear spot to do all of this. Eventually she kind of peeks in a little, kind of makes her way around and then hops back, slides back down the building, meets up with you again. And she'll do the third story too, before coming back. Mostly just classrooms. A couple of administrative offices, but nothing weird.
I'd like to get a look in that office. There's the one room with the shades drawn. I wonder if there's other offices inside.
A couple. We should meet up with the others and talk about a plan.
Yeah, I agreed. And we'll head in that direction.
Sure. As the group makes
Immediately spotting Grim and just like...
Who is staring, being very still, looking out into the clearing, has no idea these two are returning.
Bones seems amused. As you all
I can
approach.
see you.
Grim jumps a mile.
Alright, and as the party joins back up together, we're going to take a quick, say 10-minute break.
Sounds good.
Reconvene
Delightful.
At 8 o'clock.
That's how long it'll take Grim's heart rate to come back down. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone is here, so maybe just talking
I'm-
to myself. Oh, okay.
I am.
I
yeah.
just saw Jen Mattis's, who I don't know if you know. I don't think you know, character for the 50-foot bikini werewolf game, where we are all supposed to have a backup character because it might be bad for us, for our primary characters. So her backup character, she says, my backup character, my primary character is evil twin. My primary character is lawful good, and the twin is exactly the same except chaotic evil, which is amazing and extremely on brand for this
I love
this
it.
this one-shot module of ridiculousness. And she is funny. I always forget that she's funny, but she's an extremely funny human being.
Yeah, because Lisanne is one of the least funny
Mhm.
characters ever.
Yeah.
And then we got Egg, and then now we're getting the good and the evil twins.
Yeah. I'm delighted. Also, extremely clever approach to having to make a backup character, which I am also like I was happy to do, and I'm happy to do if necessary. But also, like I'm not someone who builds characters for fun, so that is a challenging exercise for me in a way that's not for some people. And this is a genius approach to like I especially at level 20, maybe I will just do this work once and then come up with an amazing twist for it.
It really is. I mean, I'm 7 we're 7 days out. I haven't come anywhere near deciding on Renesmee's spell selection.
Level 20 spell
so-
slots from scratch. That sounds.
Why am I playing a prepared caster at level 20? I know the answer is because I've never played a cleric before, and I want to be able to say I've played all 12 classes, but
I feel like a one shot is a good time to try out a prepared caster. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but you're probably not going to get too many long rests to have to change those spells, so that's nice.
Probably not, yeah. And I mean, I've sort of been able to get over my prepared caster fears with Onlor.
Yeah, Druid is complicated too.
Yeah.
How complicated?
I have a prepared caster in John's game, in John's nightmare game, and I got used to it just by keeping basically the exact same spells and only changing them out like if like a situation actually called for it.
That's not
Yeah.
a bad approach.
I just
Yeah, mostly I have a pretty standard spell lineup, and like except for like, oh, we are looking for an object. I will prep locate object.
Mhm.
yeah. That's how I handle them. I have a life cleric, a level 17 life cleric in that game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I took all of the healing spells, and I have this spell, this spell, this spell, this spell, and this spell always prepared. And I can switch them out. Like, if we're fighting something that is obviously going to be immune to fire damage, I'm going to have to switch out, like, half my goddamn spells. But...
Right.
It's probably something to be said for not overthinking it, though.
yeah.
Yeah. I do plan for Renesmee to be pretty abjuration-ish.
That
Like, I
makes
guess that's
sense.
not technically her power in Twilight. I guess that's technically Bella's power, but Missy already played Bella Swan, so that's why I'm playing Renesmee.
That destroyed me. I was thinking the other day about when I logged on to, because she hadn't done her character before at Death House until like a few hours before the game. And so I logged on like 2 hours before game just to see what everybody had and do some last minute prep. And that was when I discovered that the character was literally Bella Swan. And I just like leaned way back in my chair and just stared at the screen for a while. And I'm like, nope. This is how it is. This is good. Like this is what DMing is. It's good to have this. It's good to like have seen it ahead of time. I was delighted, but I was also like, yep. Here's the curveball that I never could have seen coming. It was very good.
Yeah.
And I think we have everybody.
I think...
Yes.
Yeah, I had to slather some more calamine lotion onto myself.
Oh.
Still itchy.
Oh.
No.
Calamine lotion is not helping at all.
Oh. Cortisone or anything? The itching is the worst. Like, just pain would be better almost.
Yeah, I think I have some medicated shampoo that I use for my scalp that I might just be like, whatever.
Yeah, worth a try.
It'll be better in a couple days. My hives usually don't last that long, but my dumbass self left this necklace on all damn night after my allergic reaction had already started.
Oh.
Like,
in the meantime.
Moron. I haven't had an allergic reaction this bad in a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it took me an embarrassingly long time after the poison ivy that I got last summer to realize that was what was going on and that I should maybe shower it off instead of just being like, weird hives that I have here for no reason after tromping through the underbrush. Like, brains are just weird.
All right. So as the group gathers together to talk about their strategy.
yeah.
I assume Grim lands on another branch that cracks under their foot as they land from jumping.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the 13 stealth isn't. It could be worse, but everyone in this group certainly knows they're just going to stand very still, like hands slightly out to the side, little deer in the headlights.
Yep, to very sensitive rogue ears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Corinne pulls Grim back into the trees a little bit further, and then pulls them down to crouch, not mostly just in a business way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, they are happy to. They are very willing to be shepherded into a less compromising position.
Yep. So, left and right buildings appear to be dormitories. The center building seems to be classrooms, administration, dining hall. There might be a few offices in there. I can't get a good look. There's curtains drawn in one of the windows. I'd like to get a better view, but at first glance, everything looks above board.
Well, I'm interested in what might be in administration. Did it look like there were any ways in?
Well, there's certainly the front door. And Heather, did it look like there were any other potential weak points for entry?
So the big ones were there's a front door on each of the dormitories, and on the main building, there's a front door, and then there's a back door, and the back door leads into the kitchen from the kitchen garden.
Okay. And Corinne will lay that out to the rest of the group.
And was there anyone, I heard you say in the dormitories there were students seen? Did there seem to be anyone in the central building?
Not that I saw.
No.
And are there any guards?
Also not that I saw. Bones, I don't know if you saw anyone on the upstairs levels.
Bones shakes her head. No, I didn't see any. Which is weird.
Right, I was just going to say that's weird. Why are there no teachers? Why are there no administrators? Why isn't there even a cook?
Is it usual that they would live, Grim's sort of standing kneeling very still, just very slowly turning their head, trying to look around. There were no outbuildings, and you saw nothing but dormitory in the dormitories, nothing but student housing. Did I hear that correctly?
That's all I saw.
Bones nods.
So is there, and Grim just sort of points down at the ground.
Basement.
Most assuredly.
Hmm.
Grim nods.
Even if it's not, something scandalous, they'll need some place to store supplies.
Right.
Is it really usual that there would be? It is getting on towards. It's after dinner, right? Like by this point.
Yeah, it's after dinner.
Okay. is it really unusual that there would not be anyone in an administrative building? I don't know much about schools, but if it's after school hours, is that alarming, or is it just the unsupervised children that is alarming? Like, expression of not being quite sure why that's alarming either.
You don't have a finishing school without having some sort of staff on hand all the time.
And I mean, I know a couple of the kids that got sent here. Keeping them locked down like this would require adult supervision at the very least.
Did you happen to see any that you recognized by chance?
No, not immediately.
And if nothing else, there should have at least been someone cleaning up after the meal.
Corinne, you hear a twig break behind you.
Down! Down! And we'll, like, forcibly, like, almost shove Grim, like, into the ground. Like,
Grim will allow it. Doesn't know why, but trust that this is necessary, or at least entertaining.
And we'll turn and face the noise. Do I see anything?
Roll a perception check. Actually, everyone can roll me perception checks.
Oh no.
Oh, that was pretty good for Grim.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's Griff's, as usual. Bones. Bones
Guess
sees
we know where
everything.
someone put their expertise is.
Bones sees everything. Alright, so Lenya and Bones, you both kind of cut your matching even golden eyes.
Nice.
Amazing.
Towards almost instinctively where the noise came from. You see a smaller figure kind of watching you all, observing you all. It's hard to tell. They're wearing like really rough clothing. Like they look like they're wearing like I don't know if you know what a ghillie suit is, but it's like a cloak made of like moss and branches and leaves. So they're definitely like stealthing up, and like they're definitely like looking at you like wide-eyed. And it's a young person too. Hard to tell gender. It looks like they've like covered their face with dirt and muck. But judging by like the general face shape and just general kind of size of them, they look like they're fairly young, maybe 12 at the oldest. They just like stop and stare at you.
Hi.
Just roll a luck die. Actually, Grim, you can also roll me a luck die.
Oh, no, wait, not a D120.
14. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Did you want to? It was a
it's Grim. Yeah,
D100.
No, D20.
Okay, then it's a 14.
14. Okay. You and Bones almost recognize this person at the exact same time, because I'm assuming the others kind of see it as the two, as your two eyeballs kind of pointed out. As the staring contest happens, it stretches out for a second. You know this person. This is a young street urchin named Mouse. Not named Mouse, but called Mouse at least.
Is this? Did Karis have a mouse?
Karis had a mouse.
Is this the same kid?
This is the same kid.
Well, Grim's like, I assume it's just like turned their head just enough from being like flattened in the dirt.
Yeah. Corinne will let go once Eliana offers the hello.
Yeah, Bones kind of is like motions for them to come forward, and they do creep forward carefully, but they seem to be nervous.
just gonna like prop myself up on an elbow very carefully. What are you doing here?
He kind of makes them. I mean, they make themselves kind of small. And you see that they're very good at making themselves small and kind of almost like melt into the ground with their giant leaf cloak.
Oh.
I, I got pinched, and so they brought me here, and I just wanted to get some food to bring it back to camp, and then I was gonna head back to Waterdeep and try and make my way back.
Hold on. And I'm just gonna go fishing in my haversack in search of. We've never tracked rations.
Okay, I assume that
Grim
you guys
Grim
probably
would certainly
don't
have
ever.
some snacks.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to add bag of snacks to because we've always had food. So we'll just find some.
Y'all own a bar. I'm assuming that you
Yeah.
bring food with you.
We'll just hold out the whole bag of snacks to the kid, to Mouse.
He takes it and he immediately like looks at it like, and you get the feeling that like he's like hesitates for just a second, but then he starts like nomming on it. Like he pulls out a giant chunk of beef jerky and just like gnaws on it.
We've met. I was with Glendra.
Yeah, you're Karis's friend.
Grim makes a face, but doesn't disagree.
We're here from Waterdeep. We wanted to find out what's going on. Eliana gestures to the buildings.
He nods and then shrugs. I don't know what. So a couple of the older kids said that they were gonna escape, and they told me I should come with them. So I did.
You mentioned camp. Is that where the? Have they already? You've already escaped. So is that where you've all gone?
Yeah, they nod. You see, like, they got big ears, and there's definitely a reason they got called mouse, and, like, their ears, like, kind of wiggle as they nod.
Oh. Gonna still moving with exaggerated slowness and care, both to avoid starting the child and to avoid, hopefully, making noise. But we'll withdraw the stick figure from my jacket pocket, and we'll hold it out. Is this yours as well?
He
Or the
grins.
camp's?
Yeah, we hang those up so the grown-ups won't go there.
It's quite terrifying. Well done.
Thank you.
We'll hold the stick figure out as well.
He takes it, and you see him, like, kind of, much as you had done and put it in your belt loop, he does the same.
Glance at the others.
How long were you at the school?
He laughs a little bit. Like, half a day. And gives you all a grin.
Eliana grins right back.
It seems like Mouse did not stay long enough to figure out what the hell was going on. Get the feeling that maybe at the first moment he was offered a, hey, we're leaving, you want to come? He bolted it.
Grim gives a very approving nod.
You see.
Were the others supplied when they left? How were they expecting to find their way back to Waterdeep?
He kind of shakes his head. I don't think they want to go back. I want to go back, though. I thought if I got, like, 3 really big potatoes, I could probably make it.
You know which direction they headed when they left?
He kind of lifts his head for a moment and, like, scans the woods and then points in a direction.
Corinne kind of glances at Grim. What direction is that?
Camp's that way. That's the way I came anyway.
What do we know? Sorry, go ahead.
Were you going back?
Maybe. I hadn't decided yet. Maybe to spend the night, because the woods are scary when it's dark out.
We can take you back. Not to the camp, maybe also to the camp, but to Waterdeep. We'll glance at Corinne. The direction that he pointed, is there anything that we know of in that direction other than now he's saying the camp? And does that correlate at all to like where any of the things like is he pointing towards where the stick figures were?
Not
roughly.
particularly. Okay. Like, I mean, generally the same way you guys came, but off.
Okay.
Like,
and is he pointing towards it was where he's pointing towards have any sort of overlap with anywhere that says stuff went down?
Not that you're aware of. Not
okay.
Like if you open up Say's map, it looks like it's probably like on the different side.
Okay. Yeah, I would compare it and sort of small head shake to Corinne. Nothing to do with anything that we're aware of. Looking back to Mouse. How do you feel about horses?
Mouse just shrugs. I went on a pony ride once.
We're going to have a look around here. But we can take you back to Waterdeep when we go. Could find you at the camp, or we could show you where our horses are waiting. It's up to you.
You could come with me to camp.
Glancing at the others.
I think I'd like that.
Corinne is nodding.
You said there were older children there?
Yeah, they know
They've
stuff.
been here longer?
Yeah, they know stuff.
Slow nod.
I don't know what stuff, but they know stuff.
Stuff is good.
So we'll go to camp then. Learn what they know.
Yeah.
Can always come back.
Might have to do initiation though.
Beg your
What's
pardon?
initiation?
It's hard. It's real hard.
Oh.
Child.
What sort of initiation? Corinne is now like looking with interest, like the interest of like, oh, okay, 12, 13-year-old, tell me about this this very
Super
difficult yeah, Corinne was 13 once with older siblings.
Grim's expression is similar.
Oh, as it says, well, did they make you eat something weird?
No. They talked about bugs though a lot. Like a lot about bugs. I guess the school has bugs. I don't know. They don't like bugs. And he starts saying this. He's gonna stand up and start like walking in the direction of camp.
Yep. Corinne's gonna follow.
Lenya will follow too.
Grim started to look at Corinne to see if they had permission to move, but now that everyone's walked up, we'll just very carefully get up and try to follow as quietly as they can. That's a 17 stealth.
Nice.
Doing better now. For them.
Sorry. A screaming baby, my concentration's toast.
The sleep has ended.
Sleep has ended.
Mm.
He's like, so you gotta swear a blood oath.
Of course.
Well, we know about those.
That doesn't hurt too much though, because they don't want you to hurt your hands, because then you won't be able to work. So that's pretty easy. But it's blood oaths. You gotta take it super serious. Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no, I'm breaking my blood oath. Oh no. Damn.
Oh my god. So cute.
Is it still breaking it if we're going to swear one too?
Okay, now you really gotta swear it, because then I won't be breaking my... That's a good point. So I won't be breaking my blood oath as long as you swear your blood oath. And then I'm just showing you the way back to camp because you got lost. And then that's okay. That's not showing you where camp is when you're not supposed to know where camp is. That's different.
Grim nods solemnly.
Eliana nods. She's taking this very seriously.
The urchins in camp are like, yeah, are in the group are like, yes, obviously, this is the logic. Then you gotta promise to help and pull your weight, which is good because I don't weigh very much. Yeah, nope. That's the big thing. And there's lots of rules around bugs, but I mean, you guys don't have any bugs with you, do you?
No.
No bugs.
He kind of looks at Bones, and Bones is like, "No, I took a flea bath before I came." he grins at that. Good. All right. No bugs. No bugs on anybody.
When you say bugs, do you mean... And Eliana pantomimes tries to do a charade for creepy crawlies?
Yeah, they're real afraid of bugs.
What?
DM,
Mm-hmm.
Grim, the former street urchin, is feeling like it's a little weird for a bunch of street kids to be
Yeah.
bug phobic.
Yeah,
is that
it really is.
a
It
correct instinct?
seems odd.
Like as a group, like individual ones, sure, but
It,
all right.
It could be like unreliable narrator, and that like they
Mhm.
said one thing about bugs, and Mouse has just decided that they have a bunch of rules about bugs when it might be like, check your shoes for bugs before going into the tents, or it could be like 2 rules about bugs, but because it's more than 1 rule about bugs, Mouse has decided there's a lot of rules around bugs.
Mhm. Okay.
But it
I'm
does
gonna-
seem odd.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna wait to talk to some of these older kids because he seems very, I don't want to upset him any further. But good to know. Thank you.
Alright, guys, sorry to do this. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna check and see what the hell the situation in there is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in whether there's a particular kind or two of bug that these older children are like, whether there is in fact like specific bug rules. But
Yeah.
after the blood oath. Oh no, I'm breaking my blood oath too already.
Right.
We don't want to make him break his don't tell people more than they should know about the bugs oath.
No. Can't be swearing too many blood oaths for this poor kid.
I know.
Yeah, Grim is definitely wondering if like this is one of Karis's urchins. Like, are we allowed to snipe him for our own tavern? Although now I'm trying to remember, I think I may actually have told them that if anything ever happened, they should come to the last call. So I may have already tried to snipe them.
Entirely possible.
Seems like something Grim would do.
I feel like they have kind of like any urchin that they ever have a conversation with at any point in time at all. There's just like, it ends with an open invitation to like come to the last call, and just like it's inevitably whenever we're not there, and Kalinda's just like, oh yeah, okay, come on in.
Yeah.
Yep. See, that's why they're no good with adult strangers, right? Is that just all of their friendliness is expended to street urchin children, and there's just nothing left over for when they have to meet some dumb adult who can feed themselves. I mean, most of the urchins can feed themselves better than most of the adults that we meet, honestly. But it's the
Yeah.
principle of the thing. Certainly better than Alvey.
Grim also just can't be bothered to try, which is
Also,
admirable in a lot of ways.
escapist D&D
Yeah.
fantasy.
Right.
Right there. I'm delighted. I was really curious what these where the feral children in the woods were up to. But
Yes. I'm very glad they
Grim
haven't been
was-
picked up
yeah.
by unexpected cultists, so that's nice.
so far.
Yeah, that part's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe whose idea was it that maybe they were the cultists, or was that a joke that Grim made?
That was a joke that Grim made
Okay.
that didn't land.
That's like so many of the jokes that Grim makes. That's. Well, now we know that the child camp is not, in fact, the same place as the cultist camp, because we know where the
Yes.
child camp is now. So, but yeah, like Grim wasn't gonna want to go, wasn't gonna think of trying to track down them until unless the trying to get into the school hadn't panned out. So that was a lovely interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, hooray for failed stealth checks, I guess. Silver linings.
Oh, I forgot to roll their following. Nope, that's worse. Their last stealth check with advantage.
They do have luck points
They do.
if they
I
were
was-
to want to use them.
They're saving them in case they need to fight off the lesser restoration.
They did need every single one.
Yeah, they
They
did.
really did. It was like a 2 and then a 4. Like they weren't even borderline rolls.
Oh, kiddo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Elena had to roll athletics. That wasn't even like a good.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Well, they were also rolling. They are proficient in athletics, so they must have been rolling that. But yeah. Yeah, I switched my how light dice because their Grim's D20 was not cutting it here in the early game.
Oh no.
Time-honored D&D tradition.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make sure the dice are charged.
It's good to have enough dice to switch them around.
And back.
There's
Sorry
nobody
about
to jail.
that, everybody.
Oh, welcome back.
Welcome
Is
back.
everyone no one bleeding or
No, Sam was too exhausted and tired. He wasn't actually waking up to deal with whatever Liam was problem was, and so I walked in and like Sam's like half conscious. And
Oh, no.
he's like, stop crying. I'm like, okay. Telling him to stop crying doesn't actually solve anything. So I'm like, I listened to Liam cry for about 5 seconds, and I'm like, oh, here, hand him his bottle. He immediately stops crying,
Oh,
because all he wanted was a drink.
oh, buddy. I'm glad it was a relatively simple fix,
It
and
was a little...
once someone was awake enough to.
Yeah, it was a little bit
Yeah.
more complicated, because then he choked on his water, and like it went down the wrong pipe, so he started to freak out, but I was like,
Oh,
you want Mama pat your back? And he went, yeah, so I picked him up and swayed with him for a minute. He was...
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
It's unusual if he wants me when he's not feeling good, so he must have been real big mad. So
Oh, kiddo.
I was like, you want your binky and your blankie? He goes, yeah. So I handed him his blankie, and then I was like, Sam's like half looking for his binky, but he's obviously still unconscious. I'm like, okay. So you want to cuddle with Daddy? Mommy get you a binky? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I put him on Sam, came out back here to the stash of binkies that we have. Grabbed a new one, and went back and put it in his mouth, and they're both out again.
excellent. Sleep well, boys.
And at that point, Vax had popped out. He was like, I'm done being in here. This is loud. It's not peak relaxation bedtime early.
Oh.
So I gave the puppies an extra bribe to buy their cooperation and quiet.
Everybody likes to work for a paycheck.
Yep.
Oh, nobody likes to work for a paycheck, but if one is going to work, then one wishes to get paid. Let me reframe that.
So one of them is on my Percy's on my knocked over my pregnancy pillow that we use just as a cool ass long pillow, and has like curled it up into a ball into his own bed, and is like lounging on it, chewing on a rawhide.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, Vax has decided that the giant beanbag chair is his, and is lounging on the beanbag chair, going, "Well, this is not bed, but I'll take it."
I just looked over my shoulder and realized that Lilo has put her head and neck back under my blanket. So I guess that's happening.
Oh, Lilo.
Yeah.
So we're off following Mouse, who is
Following
telling
Mouse.
us about blood oaths and bugs.
Blood oaths and bugs.
Yep.
Okay, I'm changing the title of the.
Oh, that's yeah, alliteration, always a good
Yep.
thing.
Oh, Vax has escaped. I don't care anymore.
No chicken nuggets on the counters, right?
They're in the oven.
Excellent. Much harder to steal.
They are. All right. Yeah, and he tells you like you gotta be able to pull your own weight. And it sounds like a lot of stuff like the older kids would tell a younger kid if he was like dead set on escaping with him. Like, no dead weight. You need everyone's gotta be you gotta learn you gotta be quiet. You gotta be stealthy. You need to know what you're doing in the woods. We're not gonna just babysit you, which is hilarious that he's telling at least basically like 4 full-grown adventurers that they're not gonna babysit them.
While just nodding and taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course. Oh no.
Very
No
serious.
babysitting.
No babysitting.
Absolutely not.
I don't need a babysitter.
You're most conspicuously quiet.
Yeah. And it's a good trek, and it's probably full on dark by the time you get to this. It seems to be a circle of trees.
I would actually should stay on the. I am on the part of the reason that I'm quiet on the after the bug cracks is that I am trying. Once I realized that we are going some distance, I am trying to. I mean, as best I can, look for like landmarks and things to be able to find my way back.
Sure.
Find their way back.
And it's not difficult. As you get closer to the camp, there's more and more of the goblin, quote-unquote, evidence. Like, it looks starting to look like a goblin infestation, except...
It's just all swear words.
It's like all like not great swear words.
I was gonna say what is Bones' expression as we see them? Like, is she?
Let's roll a straight face check for her. No. She's doing that thing where she's like breathing heavily. It's not because of the hike. It's because she's trying not to burst out at laughing at some of the things that are written. Like, she might like go to Eliana and be like, "That one literally just says intercourse."
Okay, straight face check for Eliana. Okay. Okay. Let's roll a die. Okay, so looks mostly straight faced. That's a 17.
Good work, Eliana.
So she looks like she's smiling, but that could be at anything.
Mm-hmm. Bones just looks at
Corinne glances over and she's like, "What are you smiling at?" With her passive insight of 20.
Eliana gestures toward the latest sign.
Corinne kind of stares at it and then looks at Bones expectantly.
Bones just looks at it and goes, that one says, intercourse. Intercourse away, specifically.
Oh, damn.
She speaks Goblin.
Grim chokes on a laugh, but 19 stealth keeps it pretty well under wraps.
How's Mouse doing with all of this?
He doesn't seem to notice or care.
Does he notice anything?
No.
Oh, yeah.
He is telling you his awesome plan to get back to Waterdeep with 3 potatoes.
Oh, in that case, Eliana, I think she said the bit about she speaks Goblin as though he was listening, but if he's not listening, then probably she doesn't say that.
Is it?
Grim will, after the choke laugh, sort of accelerate again a little bit to fall alongside Mouse and resumes discussing this plan, offering asking Socratic method questions about how various things are going to work out, and just tweaking the potato plan to maybe suggest that he bring something with some protein too.
Protein's harder to steal, though.
Well, but there are other ways, aren't there?
He kind of tilts his head back and forth. I'm not as good at hunting as the other people are.
So then you steal from them. Yeah?
From the other kids?
Head tilt to one side, head tilt to the other side. Suppose it depends on whether you're expecting to see them again.
They're all bigger than me.
True.
They're all bigger than me, and if they caught me, they'd it'd be worse than only having 3 potatoes. Plus, it's a day? I could survive a day on 3 potatoes.
Suppose there's always worms. Side eye to see how horrified Mouse looks.
He shrugs his shoulders, yeah, really. I mean, I guess.
After the second potato, it might get old.
I mean, it's not Karis's cooking, but I mean, at least it's something. It'll be food. And I can warm them up in my pockets, and they'll cook in my pocket. It'll be fine.
It will cook in your pocket?
Yeah, because it's warm in there.
Are they cooking in your pockets right now?
Not yet, but they're only in my pocket for a minute.
Grim nods solemnly. I was willing to see how this plays out. So we live in Waterdeep. Maybe the kid has a pocket too. Grim doesn't know. It seems unlikely, but we'll all find out together.
Besides, I gotta get back. Karis needs me.
I think Grim just doesn't know how to answer that, how to respond to that. Or knows too many ways to respond to that, and so just sort of lets it hang.
And he kind of just skips ahead. And you see him open up his pocket, check the potato, hold the potato up to his cheek, nod in satisfaction, put the potato back in his pocket. Because the potato is warm, so should cook.
Clearly is cooking.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
As he leads you towards this camp. Bones looks at one of the signs and goes, "Oh, seriously, that one's just Dwarven written backwards."
Dwarven for what?
Oh, that one actually does say fuck off, though. So, I mean, points for that. Mouse looks up. Yeah, we worked real hard on that one.
You
It's a good one.
will sort of awaken mind to Corinne. Should we be checking for traps? Whereby we, I mean you.
I think Corinne is operating on the assumption that any kind of trap that's set by this collective is probably going to be one that she spots immediately.
Yeah, your passive will between your and Bones' passives, you're probably like quietly been like just undoing, like just stomping on a tripwire here and there, or like just kind of like knocking over like a snare.
Yeah.
They aren't good traps.
And that's exactly what's happening. Like when Grim sends that message, like she's in the middle of like kicking over like a snares trip, like a trip peg, and just kind of looks at them like blinking.
Grim continues to look at her expectantly because their passive has not picked up that this is what's happening.
They're everywhere.
Like skids to a stop.
Oh, you're fine. Just carry on.
It just seems like they would have worked very hard on them. I don't want to destroy one by accident.
No, we've been destroying them on purpose. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
We'll put them back.
Okay.
They'll be better.
You guys having this conversation with your mouth?
Yeah.
Corinne is having her half with her mouth.
Yeah. Grim's only the should we be checking for traps bit was everything's in sort of the dismayed okay.
If anything, we'll put them back better. Bones just kind of mutters under her breath to you two.
Well, that would be a great service as long as didn't make them so much better. The camp wouldn't be no one would get caught in their own traps. This is complicated.
At least 3.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You keep talking to our valiant brave guide. We will handle this.
He has a pocket stove.
I'm sorry, what?
Cooking a potato in his pocket. It's very clever if it's true. I'm waiting to see how it works out. And then I will turn and jog a few steps to catch up with Mouse. And carry on.
Corinne, so at least Bones will note with you that at least 3 of these snares have been set with the wrong type of knot.
Yeah. They've tried so hard.
I appreciate their effort. They definitely seem to be trying to protect themselves from something, and I think that's worth half a thought.
No, it's true. Perhaps part of the initiation is not lessons.
If they're going to live in the woods and be wild, crazy things, I would feel better if, I don't know, a ranger was checking in on them regularly. Like, I have no problem with wild, feral children, genuinely, but...
I mean, literally anyone, honestly, but... Yes, ideally someone who will be able to find their way back. So are you volunteering yourself, or are you volunteering Kiss?
Probably myself. Kiss does not deal well with children.
That's not surprising, actually.
Me, I greatly enjoy children. I like how their brains work.
Well, you absolutely will have to get through initiation unscathed.
It wouldn't be my first one, or my second one, or my third one. I think I'll survive.
I'm sure you've lost count by now.
Alina's was the worst.
I have a lot of questions, and I don't know if I want to know any of the answers.
About initiation into Alina's club?
Well, I have a lot of ideas about what that means.
Well, it involved Alina learning that not everyone can sprout wings like she does.
Oh no.
Alina has wings?
She didn't already know that was something that most can't do?
At that point, she was still fairly young, and most everyone was her cousin, and therefore an ASMR. So,
Oh dear.
it worked out
They
fine.
they all have wings?
You haven't seen them?
No.
Yeah, just ask. They'll show you. Alina's quite proud of hers.
In a sense, that would be true of...
Does it make it easier for her to fly up and kill a black dragon? It helps if you have your own wings to do that.
Yeah, that's how she got onto the dragon. Unfortunately, her wings didn't last long enough to get off of the dragon.
Well, one must make plans for those sorts of things.
Not if one is Alina.
That's also not surprising.
Alina's plan seemed to be, it wouldn't hurt that much if I hit the water.
I think her plans are you only live once.
That's a good chunk of it, yeah.
Well, yes, you only live once, but there are certain things you can do to make that once last a little bit longer.
You can live longer, yes.
There's once, but once can last 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, depending on some of the choices you make.
You may or may not notice Eliana flinch a little at that 10 years.
But, I mean... Yeah, just ask. She'll show you her wings. Or Uriel's. Uriel's are quite pretty, too.
I need to know how Eliana's reacting to hearing that Uriel has pretty wings.
How is she reacting to this? I need to know this too. Let's find out.
Curran is determinedly not looking at Eliana at that point.
Grim is deep in pocket potato conversation.
Yep.
That die is kind of not. I guess that's what it means when a die is cocked. I've always wondered. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think she's blushing a little bit.
Yes.
Nobody knows but Bones.
That's a natural one. I think everybody knows if they're looking in that direction.
Oh, Corinne is deliberately looking in the opposite direction.
Grim is also not looking in that direction, but Hannah's extremely pleased.
Yeah.
So, pocket comp. So he's actually. So here's the thing. He's actually pointed out to you, Grim, a couple of actual edible plants. Mostly in the context of he thinks he could put those on potatoes. He might have he might get stuck in a thought, and then that is how he associates the rest of the world.
Grim recognizes this. This part probably is not dissimilar to Baby Grim.
Yeah.
To not yet learn to use their hyperfocus for good occasionally instead of just being run away with it.
But he's pointed out several edible plants. Karis taught me that one. Karis taught me that one. Karis taught me that one. He's decided that mint probably wouldn't be good on his baked potato. He has decided that chives would be good on his baked potato.
Correct.
Yeah. And he's saying Karis taught me that.
Yeah. He says he points out a mushroom and is like, I think that's one of the good ones, but Karis told me not to eat mushrooms unless I brought them to her first.
That's very good advice. Is that why you said she was a hag? I think that was you.
No,
She knows hag things.
Because she can change shape. And she gave us cookies. That seemed pretty haggy.
It really did. Well done.
She can change into a giant wolf.
What else can she change into?
I heard Mr. Jin say that she changed into a giant fuck-off spider once.
A giant fuck-off... They all fuck-off animals.
Maybe. At least the spider one was. And then they fought pirates. Evil pirates.
Well, most pirates... Well, if they're not... It's complicated.
He made sure to say that they were evil pirates and not good pirates, though, because I asked.
Grim nods. Some of them are just... It's a way to make a living, I think. And sort of will pause, glance over their shoulder to see if the group is just sort of clock how much farther not like sort of perform, but like looking over their shoulder, like, are we out of earshot of the rest? They know they're not out of earshot of the rest because they know no one's past this gross. But we'll sort of lean down a little closer to Mouse, sort of drop their voice. I fought pirates once.
You did?
On a boat, on a ship.
Were the evil pirates?
I don't know. We didn't have much conversation with them. We were mostly trying to get away. So,
I mean,
don't know if they were evil or just hungry, but...
They were chasing you. They were probably bad.
We were very attached to the ship, so we weren't really going to try to find out what they wanted in the long run. They certainly had the flag. And the very many cannons. And will sort of... Does Mouse seem interested? Or
he's like hanging on your words.
Okay, we'll sort of launch into sort of same sort of low performatively for your ears only volume. Just the story of some pirates chasing the rabbit down on in the beginnings of a storm in a particularly rocky, uncharted area of water. Like there were reefs, and no one had been there before, to the best of Grimm's knowledge, and so there was no chart for how to get safely through the reefs, and visibility was declining by the moment, and they had to put on all sail and try to navigate these uncharted reefs to get away from the pirates before the storm hit, and so they launch into the story of this sort of narrow escape, for as long as Mouse seems interested in listening.
You know how Baby Grimm loved adventure stories?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mouse also seems to love adventure stories, and is just like, has forgotten all about his stove pocket and the potato cooking away on his pocket, but is now hooked on you and your pirates. And
it's probably like 3/4 of it is probably true, and like 1/4 of it is probably embellished. But it like varies whether the sort of sometimes the embellishment is to the weather probably wasn't as bad as it sounds. But also like the part where the pirates were firing their cannons and missing narrowly every time and never ever hitting at all. And so there was no panic about the rabbit taking on water and the carpenter having to do hasty repairs like that. That part that the pirates missed every time is also a lie.
Yeah.
So like there's some like, let's make it more interesting in fun ways and less interesting in the ways that may actually scare the child. Yeah.
No, yeah. Why don't you roll me a charisma check? Performance if you're trained.
I am not. It could be. I was gonna say it could be persuasion or deception, but I am not performance over the straight up charisma. 19 on the dice, 24.
Nice. Yeah, no, you are the best bard he has ever heard.
Grim does glance over their shoulder, like 2/3 of the way through the story, to see if anyone else is listening.
Bones seems to be paying attention.
Eliana's listening too.
Rin is too busy trying to look for, like, just kicking over more snares and, like, monitoring the trail.
Delightful. Grim turns back and continues to their story. No reaction to any of the listening or not listening. They just wanted to know. And is trying to like time the story to like they will if they can tell that they're getting close to the camp, will like bring it to a haste. Like the rabbit will slide away after the last cannon goes through one of the sails.
Mm-hmm.
But just as darkness closes in, and the rabbit is able to escape.
Nice. Yeah, and Mouse goes, oh, that's a good one. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to... Maybe I'll tell that one later. Okay, so you stay here. I'm gonna go tell them you're here, okay?
Grim nods and plants their feet.
Don't be scared. And he darts off.
We'll try.
And he darts off into the woods. A minute later, you hear some ominous drumming coming from the woods.
Oh my gosh.
And it's getting louder, and it's moving around you erratically. Like you can't quite place where it is. And you start to see glowing, like, red eyes in the forest around you.
Oh my god. Eliana's trying to keep the right the right balance of taking this seriously and not being scared.
Yeah.
Can I tell how they're doing the eyes?
Sure. Roll me an Arcana check.
Nope, sure can't. That's a 2.
Yeah, no. You have no clue. Something. You smell blood on the air. Almost kind of swirling around you. As a cold breeze whips through the clearing where you all kind of got left. And yeah,
that does get Grim's the smell does get Grim's attention.
Yeah.
They sort of draw themselves up just a little bit, and sort of look around them just a little more sharply.
Mm-hmm. And a tall figure, not tall, a taller than Mouse figure steps into the clearing and puts their hands on their hips. And you notice they're wearing a mask made of like tree bark, but like the eyes have been kind of carved out really roughly, and like runes are all over the mask to make it look pretty like scary and ominous.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of stands imperiously. You could tell it's a girl, probably maybe 16, maybe. Kind of stands imperiously, squaring her shoulders and looking over all of you. And then pausing, being like, Bones? You see her throw off her mask. She's like, no, everyone, please stop. No, stop. And you see her just throw herself onto Bones.
Oh.
Is this, Lark? Wren? One of those bird names?
I was just going to say I can't remember which it is, but I knew it was one of those two.
It is not Wren. It does appear to be someone you have not been scrying on. as Bones looks confused and she wasn't scared, she had been warned, but she was definitely getting, definitely much like Graham starting to, get her, back up, and her, the hair on the, ears were pointing, tail twitching. Did we just get led into an ambush? Do I need to make some real hard decisions right now? But as this young girl, throws herself at Bones. And Bones is not big. This girl is definitely taller than Bones. And bigger than Bones. But Bones, definitely does a good job of, catching her. Hey. No. Leave it. I don't know what you're after, but leave it.
Does Bones seem to recognize the girl once she...
Yeah, once she takes off
Okay.
of the creepy mask.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, what? Oh. Huh. And she just kind of, lifts the girl's head. Dretta, what are you doing? What? What is all of this? Dretta, who grins at her. Well, you did say that, sometimes half the battle is in psyching out your enemy, right? It's not about being bigger, it's about being scarier. Bones just sighs and kind of, puts her in, a friendly, headlock. Dretta. Alright, show me your camp and let's figure out what the hell is going on. And Dretta breaks the grapple pretty easily. And it seems like Bones wasn't really trying. And it's like, alright, yeah, well, you and your friends, can come with me. Okay. Come on. And she motions you into a clearing. Do I have my map? Sure. Nope. Roll 20 ate it. Thanks, Roll 20.
Oh,
Thank you
Roll
for
20.
eating.
No, roll 20, no.
Has the drumming and the
Oh yeah,
blood
the
smell
drumming,
and the wind, is that all
everything
carried on, or?
is stopped. All of that is gone. The creepy.
I'm just
blinking
imagining
eyes.
that, the universal sound of, an orchestra just deflating.
So is that... Do we not have to do initiation then?
No, you don't have to do initiation. You don't have to do initiation. You're friends with Bones, right? And Bones nods. Yeah, I'll vouch for them. Clearly.
What if we wanted to do initiation?
You want to swear a blood oath?
I'm gonna look at Mouse and just raise the eyebrow over my eye patch, questioning. Does Mouse? Actually, Mouse thinks I'm cool. It's fine. We'll see how this goes. Drop into awakened mind. What do you think?
Mouse is not there.
Oh, that's right. Mouse took off
Yeah.
and didn't come back. Or at least not visibly. Then I will, would not have done that. Will sort of look around. Where's Mouse gone?
Oh, he's just back at camp. I told him to stay put while we checked out what the hell he brought back to our haven.
No biting, Rowena. We did promise that we would do initiation, so it's up to him.
I mean, if it's up to him.
Grim nods and is content with that for now, but has no intention of letting the party off the hook if Mouse says we have to do initiation. It's fine.
Ren rolls her eyes off to the side.
Alright, and as you are brought into the camp, it's a small camp. It's probably... God damn it, Roll 20. You know what? Why you eat my maps? Why you eat my maps?
Why indeed, Roll 20?
It is a small camp. It's probably like, it's definitely like the tents are fairly close. Like all of the tents you see are like set up in like a good almost like 3/4 of a circle. So like a nice like campfire in the center. There's a pot on it that seems to be bubbling, and there's 4 or 5 tents set up. And tents might be
Do
a
they
strong
look
word.
like?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do they look like they were stolen from the school, or do they look like these are like blankets over sticks, sort of
It's
crafted situation?
they definitely look like someone with maybe an ounce of like not formal training, but like at least informal training. Like went camping, went hardcore camping with Grandpa once upon a time. Definitely like was like, no, you need to like, they need to be off the ground. This is how you make a lean-to. Deals.
Nice.
So it's definitely like a setup. She escorts you back to camp. Mouse is kind of sitting next to the fire. He's got a bowl of something in his hands, and he seems to be eating it. No potato, though. Potato's still cooking.
I think potatoes take a while.
But as you all are brought to this camp, we're going to call it for tonight.
All right.
Sorry for
Sounds good.
the early stop, but
No, this is delightful.
I love this. I love these kids.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting place.
yeah.
All of
Yeah.
it. This whole
Mouse.
forest.
Mouse straight up rolled a 1 on his stealth check to come up on you guys, so
Oh, buddy.
I'm so glad.
he was trying to sneak past and he rolled a 1, and I was like,
Oh.
there are 2 people in this party with a 20 passive perception.
He's weighed down by the third potato. Put him off balance.
Oh, kiddo.
Oh. This is lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will look forward to hearing these kids' stories. I bet they're
They've got some. They definitely
Yeah.
have. There's a reason that they're that